It started with love, but something was wrong. Lola, the naughty girl.
Lola, the naughty girl. David and Lola were classmates at the university. From the very first year, David had fallen deeply in love with her. Lola was beautiful, bold, and always stood out in a crowd. She had a confidence that drew attention wherever she went. But more than her looks or her charisma, David believed he saw something deeper, a soul he thought he could love forever. Sadly, he was wrong. While David adored Lola with everything in him, Lola hardly respected him at all. She treated him like a servant more than a partner. The imbalance in their relationship was glaring to everyone but David. One afternoon on campus, David rushed toward the lecture hall carrying a bag of jollof rice, Lola's favorite, from the nearby food vendor. "Hey babe, I got you the food from Mama Chica's, the one you like," he said, smiling. Lola barely looked up. She rolled her eyes and muttered, "About time. You took forever. Why are you always so slow?" She snatched the bag from him without a word of thanks. Their classmates, many of whom had witnessed similar scenes before, whispered among themselves, "Why is he still with her?" One student said to a friend. "She talks to him like trash." Despite the public humiliation and growing concerns among those around him, David remained committed. He constantly made excuses for her behavior. At home, things weren't any better. David had an apartment he shared with a longtime friend and roommate, Ken, but he barely stayed there. He spent nearly all the time at Lola's place, cooking, cleaning, and even doing her laundry, including her underwears. Lola had a young housemate living with her, yet she insisted David do the chores. To him, it was love. To others, it looked like bondage. One night, Ken sat David down in their apartment. "Bro, you need to stop," he said firmly. "You barely live here anymore. You're always at her place, acting like a houseboy. You even wash her panties." David sighed. "She's just stressed. She has a lot going on." "No, David, you're just blind. She's using you. And if you don't wake up, she'll destroy you." Instead of heeding to Ken's advice, David ran straight to Lola and repeated every word. "Ken said that you stop spending so much time here," he told her. "He said you're not treating me right." Lola froze, then her face filled with rage. "So that's what your friend thinks of me? That I'm the bad one?" she shouted. Without warning, she stormed out of the room, grabbed a kitchen knife, and marched toward the campus in search of Ken. Campus security had to intervene to prevent a serious incident. That night, David and Ken's friendship was destroyed. Back home, things were unraveling too. David's mother had grown increasingly worried. She had always disapproved of his relationship with Lola. She had seen the way her son had changed, how distant he had become, how reckless. On several occasions, David had stolen from his own family just to satisfy Lola's endless demands. One day, unable to bear it any longer, David's mother came to the university campus herself, eyes red from crying, voice shaking with anger. She stood in the courtyard calling out, "Where is my son, David? He stole my business money again for that girl who spits on his kindness." Students stood stunned, watching as the broken-hearted mother searched for her son. David, standing not far away, would only lower his head in shame. His mother left in tears. David said nothing. Shortly after, Lola's grandfather passed away. She invited David and a few classmates to her village for the burial. When they arrived, they were shocked. There were juju shrines everywhere, small huts with blood-stained altar, clay pots with feathers, bones, and red clothes, charms and symbols painted on the walls. In the center of the compound stood a massive shrine with ancient carvings, smoke rising from its roof as if it was breathing. One of the classmates, a girl named Ifoma, whispered in fear, "Is this a burial or a ritual?" A man, bare-chested and covered in white chalk-like marking, was dancing near the shrine. Women chanted, some of them shaking violently. It wasn't grief they expressed. It was something darker, something spiritual. Lola, dressed in full black lace, seemed completely at home. Cosmate asked one of the villagers what was going on. That was no ordinary man that died, the villager explained. That was Baba Obonukuko, was the high priest of the river spirits. This family, they are strong juju people, generations deep. If your friend they follow that girl, make him pray. Strong things they follow her. Babies seemed unaffected, but others were deeply disturbed. After the burial, when the classmates returned to campus, the atmosphere changed. They couldn't stop talking about what they had seen at Lola's village. Their compound was full of shrines, Ifoma told her friends. Red cloth, feathers, skulls. I'm telling you, they are deep in juju. That explains everything, Chooks added. That's why David acts like someone who's not in his right mind. Not everything makes sense. All the insults, the way he cooks and washes for her, even after she embarrasses him, he's not in control. Maybe she used something on him. The story spread like wildfire. A quiet dread surrounded Lola. People gave her space. They smiled at her, but carefully and politely, and no one dared question her relationship with David anymore. They were afraid to meddle in her relationship with David. Even lecturers who used to call David aside gave up. No one wanted trouble with the girl whose family was rumored to be spiritually dangerous. And David, he remained under a spell. Years passed, David never reconciled with his mother. She died still heartbroken, having never seen her son set free from Lola's grip. Meanwhile, Lola had moved on. Rumors spread that she was now dating a wealthy man based in Canada. Soon, she announced her wedding. Everyone was shocked, but no one more than David.